Why do we do what we do? And I wish I could give you some deep, insightful, theological response. But to be honest with you, the reason why we do what we do, the reason why we put together these small ministry teams and travel to the Philippines to present the Life Application Study Bible and to work with street children, encouraging pastors, very simply is because the Lord opened a door for effective ministry to us, and by faith we stepped over that threshold and walked through the door. You know, if it were not for Tyndale House Publishing and the agreement that we have through Doug Nichols to utilize these Bibles and place them in the hands of pastors and Christian workers there in the Philippines, this ministry wouldn't exist. Tyndale House sends us these Bibles at a greatly discounted rate, which enables us to ship large quantities. This year, this small, believe it or not, this small country church is sending 800 Bibles to be placed in the hands of 800 pastors and Christian workers. So that's what we do. We go there primarily to place this Bible in the hands of pastors, many of whom are bivocational. A few years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, at the conclusion of one of our seminars, a pastor came up to us with tears in his eyes. And he asked me a very specific question. Would you go back to your congregation and thank them for this Bible and for their sacrifice in shipping it here and placing it in my hands? And then he went on to tell me a story about how he was on the brink of leaving the ministry because he was under-resourced. And the only Bible that he had been passed down to him from his father, who had received it from his father. And it was an American Standard Bible, an old American Standard Bible. And when he opened it up, there were sections of the Bible completely missing. And he had been doing his very best to preach the full counsel of God's Word to his congregation, and had prayed for months that the Lord would provide him with a full copy of the Scriptures. And he had been saving for a year for this Bible. And as he got very close to having the full amount, he went to a bookstore, and he had looked through all of the study Bibles that this bookstore had. And he finally came across one that he was bound and determined to purchase. The next week, his car broke down. And he's a taxi driver during the day. And he had to spend every cent of the money that he had saved over the course of the last year to repair his vehicle, to be able to continue to provide for his family. And he was honest, and he shared that when that happened, he thought God's answer to his prayer for more resources was that he should leave the ministry, and that he had missed his calling. And he had signed up in advance for the seminar and felt an obligation to attend. And would you believe that the very Bible that he picked out in that bookstore a few weeks earlier was the exact Bible that the Lord placed in his hands that day at the seminar?